Hi everyone, my name is Heidi and I'm from Malaysia. When people think of Malaysia, they talk about how our food, our culture, and our people. But what many visitors do not know is that in our neighborhoods, there are over 200,000 refugees living amongst us. They are people who have fled war and persecution, recognized by the UN, but invisible in the laws in our country. They're people that came to Malaysia to seek safety, but safety does not come with rights in Malaysia. Imagine waking up every single day without the right to work, the right to put food on the table for your family, to send your child to school. Imagine living in fear every single day, not knowing that if you'll be arrested, detained, extorted, and deported. For many refugees, deportation means being sent back home to your death. Learning this, I started Refuge for the refugees at the age of 18. I didn't have a grand plan in place. I was young, but what I had was a deep conviction that a system needed to be built to bridge the gap. Over the past 15 years, we've built a system that now reaches 50,000 people on an annual basis. Across our 35 schools, we are now providing education for over 7,000 children. We run multiple clinics to ensure dignified access to healthcare, and women are earning livelihoods through our programs. But what I've learned over the past 15 years is this: you don't need to have a lot to be generous. Over the past many months, years of working, I've sat with families who have lost everything but found ways to rebuild their lives. I've met with families who had nothing but would still sit me down for a meal, share their stories and their lives with me. And having experienced that grace and generosity changes you as a person. So today I'm an activist. I continue speaking up for injustice because when you hear stories that are so horrifying, it changes you as a person, and speaking up is no longer an option. In 2020, I was charged by the government of Malaysia for speaking up about conditions of detention centers. I spent 5 years in and out of court, and that experience was horrifying. It was scary, but staying quiet was no longer an option. And so I continued speaking up because these stories were so much heavier than the fear that I was experiencing. Today, that experience changed me. It showed me a glimpse of what refugees live with on a day-to-day basis: fear. Realizing that, it helped us pivot. And today, 90% of our staff are hired directly from the refugee community, people with lived experience to craft solutions that matter. Today, they take the lead. My role is to resource them and to provide them with opportunities to make a difference. This is the incredible team that we work with. COVID changed everything for us. During COVID, I don't know how many of you guys remember COVID, but at the start of COVID, we were in the midst of losing everything that we had. And we didn't have a lot of time to mobilize. But what shifted was what moved us were the urgent needs of the people. Within a week, we were getting over 100 calls. And our role then shifted to needing to provide aid for over 1,000 families on a weekly basis. That means raising $12,000. Hospitals were at capacity, ventilators are running out. So we pivoted. We made sure that aid were delivered to doorsteps of families that needed it the most. And when hospitals were full, we brought in oxygen tanks. Today, our crisis looks different. Since Trump assumed presidency, the global humanitarian aid has been cut off. And this means that large organizations are shutting down. And what's left for all of us to pick up are the slack from it all. But today, we still exist. Our programs are still running. We are meeting the needs of 800 patients. We are serving 800 patients on the monthly basis. Our team, in spite of it all, is still going. But we can't do this alone. So we're inviting you to join us on this journey, partner with us, have conversations with us, and let's see how we can bring this important conversation to places that matter. Thank you.